If you've ever seen any of the iconic films like Good Will Hunting, Fever Pitch, or Ted, then you've definitely seen Boston's Back Bay neighborhood, because these classic brownstones and tree-lined streets make for the perfect backdrop for Hollywood. And it's really no wonder why. Back Bay is consistently one of the city's most prestigious and affluent neighborhoods. Just strolling the immaculately maintained streets feels like you've stepped onto a movie set. High-end boutiques, galleries, and restaurants only add to the luxurious ambiance. But as picturesque as Back Bay looks on camera, actually living in this posh neighborhood is a whole different story. You see, what they don't show you in those movies are the very harsh realities that come with securing one of those coveted brownstone addresses. In this video, I'm pulling back the curtain on the harsh truths about living in one of Boston's best zip codes. Let's start with Hollywood's longtime love affair with Back Bay. It's been the quintessential backdrop for nailing that Boston charm on the screen, and it's no wonder why. This neighborhood is full of old world architecture and a European-inspired charm that sets the stage perfectly on film. But for as perfect as those brownstones, parks, and plazas look portrayed through a camera's lens, the reality of actually living in Back Bay involves a whole lot of factors that they tend to leave out on the cutting room floor. And the first harsh truth is just how insanely expensive it is to live here. We're talking some of the highest real estate prices, not just in Boston, but frankly, the entire country. In 2024, the median single-family home price in Back Bay is up to a staggering $2.8 million. And for that, you don't get a lot of square footage. And if you're looking at one of these multi-story brownstones with the classic bay windows and intricate stonework, well, you can expect to easily spend $5 to $6 million, which is a jaw-dropping amount of money for a fairly compact urban home. And here's the thing, even if you have that kind of budget, good luck actually securing one of those properties. The demand for Back Bay real estate can be intense, with a lot of listings getting into heated bidding wars. Okay, so maybe you're thinking you'll just rent instead of buy to make living in this iconic neighborhood a bit more attainable. Well, I hate to break it to you, even the rental prices here will have your head spinning. The average rent for a basic one-bed apartment in Back Bay is currently around $3,500 per month. And that's if you can even find one available. The vacancy rates in this neighborhood are some of the lowest in the city. Want a little more space for a two-bed? Well, expect that monthly rent to jump up to the $5,000 to $6,000 range. And again, that's for a pretty standard apartment without a ton of upscale amenities. If you want a renovated unit with high-end finishes, in-building gym, concierge, you get the idea, your rent could easily balloon up to $8,000, $9,000 or more per month. So just to put that in perspective for a minute, if you're looking to buy a home in Back Bay, you realistically need a budget of at least $1.5 million for a condo, but more likely more than that just to get a decent sized place and have a chance of getting an offer accepted. And if you're renting, you need to be prepared to shell out a minimum of $3,500 per month for even a modest one-bedroom unit. So in reality, living in this incredibly expensive real estate market just makes it a huge financial stretch for some. The silver lining, I guess, is that all that money helps maintain the picturesque charm that you get living in this neighborhood. Another tough reality that they don't tell you about living in this neighborhood is just how hard the traffic and parking situation can be. Many of these brownstone properties were built in the 1800s, long before having your own personal car was even a thing, which means that many of these properties also don't have garages or driveways for you to park in. If you own a car, you'll likely need to utilize street parking or rent a spot in a nearby garage. Back Bay does have resident parking permits available for street parking, and garage parking is also an option, although monthly fees can be a bit pricey given the neighborhood's premium location. Expect to spend roughly $400 a month on garage parking in the area. That's nearly $5,000 per year just for a place to park your car overnight. And during snow emergencies or street cleaning, expect those garages to be filled to capacity as everyone jockeys for a spot. When it comes to driving, there are a few roads that can experience some congestion during peak hours. Starrow Drive, for instance, is a main thoroughfare that can see slower traffic during rush hour periods. And with the neighborhood's narrow one-way streets and occasional double-parked delivery trucks, navigating can require a bit more caution than in some other parts of the city. But here's the good news. Back Bay is truly one of the most walkable neighborhoods around. With so many amenities, parks, and attractions within easy walking distance, many residents find that they rarely need to rely on a car for their day-to-day needs. This area is also well served by public transit, including the Green Line T, making it a breeze to get around Boston without the hassle of driving, as long as the T is working. If you know, you know. So while living in Back Bay can require a little bit more creativity when it comes to traffic and parking, one of the upsides is that you do have an incredibly vibrant environment right at your fingertips. So as long as you come into it prepared for that, you'll be just fine. Back Bay is a major tourist destination unto itself. With all of the beautiful charm, you're going to be sharing that with people from all around the world too. On any given day, you can find people strolling along the picturesque side streets, checking out the cafes and restaurants on Newbury Street, or even visiting the public library, which is where we are right now. This bustling energy is part of what makes Back Bay so vibrant and desirable. It's important to understand, though, the impact that it can have on daily life. The sounds of excited chatter, street performers, and the occasional car honking its horn are just part of the neighborhood soundscape. If you're someone who craves peace and quiet, the non-stop foot traffic and noise levels might take some getting used to. Holidays and weekends tend to draw the biggest crowds, especially in the commercial areas surrounding Newbury and Boylston streets. You'll want to prep for a bit more timing to get around as you navigate through the sea of visitors. And if you're trying to secure a coveted patio table at one of the neighborhood's hotspots, be sure to make a reservation well in advance. But here's the thing, all of those visitors are coming to Back Bay because it's truly a special place. There's a palpable sense of energy and life that comes from being in such an iconic, beloved part of Boston. So while the crowds can feel a bit overwhelming at times, it's also a testament to the magnetic appeal of this one-of-a-kind neighborhood. My advice, embrace the hustle and bustle as part of the Back Bay package. Take advantage of the quieter side streets when you need a break from the action, and remember that you're living in a place that people travel from all over just to experience a small slice of. That's a pretty special thing. So when you stack it all up, the real estate prices, the tourists, the crazy traffic and parking situations, plus the hidden costs that come with living in Back Bay, you might be wondering, is it worth it? Well, the answer is like anything in life, it depends. For many, the trade-offs of the high real estate prices and unique challenges that you get living in this neighborhood are totally worth it for the access to the amenities and the lifestyle that comes with living here. And speaking of costs, that leads me to another harsh truth: the hidden costs and fees that can quickly pile up while living in this premier neighborhood. We've already covered the crazy real estate pricing, but the higher income levels here mean you're paying premium prices on every single product and service. Let's start with something as basic as groceries. While Back Bay does have a few larger chain supermarkets, many residents prefer the convenience and selection of the smaller neighborhood grocers and specialty food shops. But that convenience often comes with a higher price tag. It's not uncommon to find yourself paying a few dollars more for everyday staples like bread, milk, and eggs compared to other parts of the city. Utilities are another area where costs can climb quickly. The charming historic buildings that make Back Bay so visually appealing often come with less efficient heating and cooling systems. Combine that with larger square footage of many of the homes here, and you can expect to see higher than average monthly bills for gas and electric, especially during those frigid Boston winters. The premium pricing extends to other aspects of life as well. From haircuts to dry cleaning, pet sitting to gym memberships, service providers in Back Bay often charge elevated rates compared to surrounding areas. Even a basic takeout meal or morning coffee can cost a few dollars extra, which can really add up over time. Now, I don't say this all to scare you off. The truth is, for many people, the unparalleled lifestyle and convenience of Back Bay is well worth the added expense. But it's important to go in with eyes wide open about the true cost of living here, beyond just the mortgage or rent payment. My suggestion, take an honest look at your budget and factor in for a cushion for those premium prices on things like groceries, utilities, services, and taxes. Make sure you're comfortable with the full picture of expenses before making the leap. That way you can fully enjoy all that Back Bay has to offer without undue financial stress. Let's start with the location. Back Bay puts you right in the heart of Boston with incredibly easy access to downtown, the financial district, Fenway Park, the Esplanade, and so much more. The sheer convenience of being able to walk or hop on the T to just about anywhere in the city is a huge draw. Then there's the stunning architecture and visual appeal. Waking up every day in a historic brownstone, strolling past the picturesque public gardens, and being surrounded by all that old world charm is truly a special experience you'll be hard pressed to find elsewhere. And of course, let's not forget about the lifestyle perks. Living in Back Bay means being just steps away from some of the city's best dining, shopping, cultural attractions, and green spaces. From the latest exhibit at the Boston Public Library to a jog along the Charles River, you'll never run out of fun and exciting things to do and experience. But with all of that said, it's important to acknowledge that Back Bay living isn't for everyone. The fast-paced, high-energy vibe and tourist crowds can be a bit much for some. But with all of that said, it's important to acknowledge that Back Bay living isn't for everyone. The fast-paced, high-energy vibe and tourist crowds can be a bit much for some. The parking and driving challenges require a certain level of patience, and there's no getting around the fact that it's one of the priciest neighborhoods in Boston. So here's my advice. If you have the budget to live comfortably to afford the premium costs, you're excited by the idea of being in the heart of the action, and you're willing to embrace the quirks and challenges that come with this iconic neighborhood, then Back Bay could absolutely be an incredible place to call home. But if you're stretching yourself financially, you prefer a quieter, more low-key lifestyle, or you heavily rely on easy driving and parking, then you might consider exploring some of the other wonderful neighborhoods Boston has to offer that could be a better fit. Ultimately, only you can decide if the trade-offs are worth it for the unparalleled Back Bay lifestyle. But I can tell you this, for those who do choose to make this iconic neighborhood home, there's a distinct sense of pride, excitement, and belonging that comes with being part of this special community. And that feeling is hard to put a price tag on. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're a Back Bay resident, what do you love most about living here? And if you're considering making the move, what factors are most important to you when choosing a neighborhood? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this video valuable, be sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos on Boston living and all the things that you need to consider when making the move to the Boston area. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.